So it's Monday the 15th of January and I've just walked into the office, possibly expecting a stink. And yes, we have, Rupert is open, so we have our Sauromatum venosum inflorescence open, but there's no smell. So let's have a look at what might have happened here. So we've had a few more days, obviously, since the last video, and the flower is fully unwrapped, or the inflorescence is fully unwrapped. So if you remember, it was, I'm gonna have to be careful now because it's a bit wobbly. If you remember, this was all the way up here, fully wrapping round this spadix, so we couldn't see this bit here. This is the spadix appendix here. And this amazing looking thing here is the spathe that wrapped all the way around that lovely, you know, spadix. We couldn't see that. And then that, if I have a look at it from the back, that's what's left of the texture of the outer that we were looking at the other day. Now, as you can see, this is no longer rigid. So when I came in, this spathe had fallen down the back here, which is quite normal. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's gone quite floppy already. So you can see that that's hanging down the back now, which again, as I say, quite normal. And then the flower fully open. And I did expect to walk into a stink, but as far as I can tell, let me just put my nose right in it. I'm as close as I could be without touching it there. And there's absolutely no smell. So that will be interesting to see if it does get smelly later on today, or if it even heats up today. I'm not too sure if there's any heat going on here. Now, the spadix is quite floppy now. So if I come back now, you'll see that this wants to flop forward like this. So it's not going to stay up for many days at all. Now, if this was outside, or if this was like ones that are going to happen later on in the year, this will be attracting insects now, and they will be running down inside. So I'll show you a video on the screen now of what this would look like if it was outside. But obviously here in the studio, there aren't many insects, so it's not going to attract anything in here. You can see how bulbous this has gone. So unlike Aracema, where this split here would go all the way to the bottom, and then insects would come in and then get pollen on them and go out of the bottom, or be allowed to get out of the bottom. With this, it's a solid tube. So this is basically like a cup. And the pollen will fall from here, from the male parts, you can see it, down into the bottom here. Now flies will come in, they'll land on here, come down here, and there are parts in here, which I'll show you when I dissect this, that prevent it from coming back out. And they go down here, get pollen on them, and then come back out the following day, or when those staminodes start to shrivel. We can't see that today, and I'm going to do that on a separate video. So nothing else has changed at the bottom. It's got a bit longer. You can see here the peduncle, as we call it, has got a little bit more extended, so about an inch. I'm not going to do any stats on this particular video because I don't think we need to now. He's kind of done his he's done all the growing he's going to do. This is only going to go backwards now. Everything above here is now going to just shrivel back down. So that's exactly what we'd expect. What we'll be left with is a tuber that's probably about 10% smaller and, you know, less in grams than it was when we started. And the roots are going to start coming out, and we're going to get a leaf here. So we can already see it. We saw it in the last video. So what we're going to do is we're going to have one more video where I'll dissect all of this. I'll show you all of those parts. And then what we're going to do is we're going to plant this, because we want this leaf now to start growing, and we want these roots to start coming out. So that's where we're at today. It's looking amazing. It's gone through its full flowering cycle now. Sadly, we're not going to pollinate this one. We know that. That's a completely different kettle of fish, because we only have one little Rupert. We don't have another Rupert to go with him. So that will come later on in the year. So we're only now, let me think, end of November, end of December, so mid to Jan, so less than 2 months in, and we've got the flower done and dusted and gone with this particular tuber. So that's probably all I want to say for this little update. Apart from, let's have a little look at, let's just lay him down and I'll have a quick look at the flower pattern with you, the spathe pattern with you. So I'll just lay him down carefully. So laying him down as carefully as I can, and look at that. Look at that pattern. It's absolutely exceptional. So I don't know what the evolutionary advantage of that pattern is, because once it's open, I don't know whether it's a threat or an attractor. You know, these things do heat up to attract insects. So I don't, you know, again, you'll see that goes down inside a little bit as well. So I genuinely do not know why that is. And you can see this like snake-like appendage here. This is the spadix appendix up at the end, and this goes right down into here, and that'll be a whole video in itself, and that's quite exciting when I show you that. I really hope you're enjoying these videos, and if you are, please give us a thumbs up. It does help us to get our content in front of other people who might like this kind of thing. And if you like it enough to give it a thumbs up, then why not give Rupert a subscribe, and you can watch me talking about all kinds of plants, but mainly aroids on this channel.